Hello, Tribe. Happy Wednesday. It's halfway through the week. Yay!
Yay!
It's so exciting sometimes, isn't it?
It is.
I feel like we get to this like point and it's just another reason to celebrate. Halfway done.
I agree
Halfway to
with
pizza
you.
night.
Halfway to pizza night. Yeah, no, Wednesdays are good. Every day is good, right?
It is.
Yeah. What is it that Derek always says? It's a great day to be alive.
Yes, it is.
So, I like that. I've adopted it. I say it a lot now. So I know he's not watching because we're in the group, but thanks, Derek, for that. It's a great day to be alive.
Yes. So we are super pumped today to talk to you about something that so many of our clients and mama friends and everybody and we have struggled with, which is putting yourself first as a mom. Like, that's crazy, right? Don't you like have to take care of that little screaming snot bucket first? I'm just kidding. They're not snot buckets, right?
Totally right. They're not. But and it's not even, we put the topic as putting yourself as a mom, but putting yourself first and then being a mom, because you are more than a mom. You are a person. You have hopes, you have dreams, you have needs, you have wants, you have a life that is way outside being just a mom. And it's not just a mom because it's the most important job that we as mothers will ever have, but we are more than that. And so how do you put yourself first while you're a mom? I think might be more.
Yeah, I think that's
cool to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I wrote the title and then you said it and I was just like, I don't really like that anymore. I didn't say it out loud first.
No, I mean, well, it's hard because you have been living this life where you're learning how to take care of yourself. You're learning, what career you want, where you want to live, what kind of dishes you want in your house. You get all these things that are chosen just for the simple happiness of making you or maybe your significant other get along, not fight because they don't want a flower duvet. So you got the striped one, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden you have this little person who is a human being who has thoughts and feelings and needs. And you're like, well, wait a minute. I have to take care of that person. This is more important than, me going to get my nails done or me reading my book or me eating my dinner while it's still hot.
Yes. And well, a lot of that may be true. It doesn't mean that we have to take a backseat in our own lives. It doesn't mean that everybody else's needs need to come before our needs. It doesn't mean that everybody else's wants need to come before our needs. And it doesn't mean that you have to give up your life to be a mom. You can still have your life and be a mom. It's not an either or, it's a both and. I had a client that I was working with not too long ago, and she had a 6-year-old little girl. And one of the things that she came to me with was the fact that she just didn't have any joy in spending time with her daughter. She wanted a better relationship with her daughter, but she wasn't happy. And as a result, that was coming across in the relationship that she was having with her daughter. She didn't enjoy spending time with her daughter. And it just kind of all came to a head, and it wasn't where she wanted to be in life. So we started talking about that, and we started going through that. And we're going to talk today about 3 of the things that I worked with her on that helped her get back to the place where she wanted to be, that helped her get back to living joyfully and being able to give her daughter the time and attention that she deserved, the time and attention that they both wanted, and to really help that parenting relationship. And the first thing that we're going to really talk about is giving yourself permission to say no, right? Now, these are all things that come in our signature program, our Dream Builder program. So if you want more information on that, you can schedule a call with us and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But the first thing that we want to do is talk about giving yourself, like I said, permission to say no. Where in your life are you saying yes that you want to say no? There is a quote, I don't know who said it, but a friend of mine says it a lot now. And so now it comes up. She had heard it at a conference that she was at. But the quote is, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And
Right.
that is true everywhere in life. And I know when it comes to your kids, it can feel like you have to do all of this stuff that you don't want to do. You have to volunteer to be a room mom, right? Because who else is going to do it? You're a mom, your kid's in that classroom, so you have to be a room mom. And that's not what you want to do. You would rather bake cookies and bring 3 dozen cookies for a bake sale. Or you say yes to bringing 3 dozen cookies for a bake sale, and you would rather sit in the room and do arts and crafts with your kids during, at school. Or you say yes to both of those and you don't want to do either of those. What you really want to do is take part in one of the fundraisers or one of the school activities where the parents get to come in and you get to highlight and, volunteer and watch the little kids come do the games at Halloween or at, one holiday or something like that. So, and maybe you don't want to do any of that. Maybe your contribution is something else, but what calls to you? What feels good? And what are you saying yes to in your life that you really want to say no to?
Yes. I just, so many things. Even when my kids, we homeschool now, but my kids were in public school for a long time. And I signed up for things because I was a mom and I needed to participate. But the things that I wanted to do were already taken. So I was never fast enough. I've never been that person who would run for a sign up sheet to try to get the things that they want. I'd get over there and be like, ugh. But the truth is I didn't have to sign up for anything. There was no mandatory, you have to sign up. So if I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do, I could have said no instead of grumbling about it and not giving it my all because I didn't want to go on a field trip where I sat on a bus for 2.5 hours.
Right.
Those types of things, and it was okay. And it wasn't until my kids were out of school that I realized I didn't have to do those things, which is ridiculous. But it's true. If you can't do it joyfully, you shouldn't be doing it because other people can sense that your energy is flowing around you. And if you're in a negative space, you're just pushing that negative energy onto other people instead of being, that happy bouncing around. You just can't wait to do those tasks that can be felt by people.
Yes. And so you think about it, you sign up for that 2.5-hour field trip to sit on a bus that you don't want to sit on, to be a chaperone and something that you don't want to chaperone. And we think of that as spending time and doing that for our children. And yes, we are, but would your children rather have you come do that grumpy and unhappy and not fun to be around? Or would they rather have you take an hour out of your day and take them to the park and actually engage and play with them? And that's kind of where it's at. We say yes to things that feel like obligations when they're really not obligations. They're just obligations that we put on ourselves, and we have the ability to choose. So all of that aside, where are you saying yes that you want to say no? And you want to give yourself permission to say no and practice. It takes time to learn to say no effectively, but that alone, just that one tip, will make your life so much more joyful, so much happier, because you will be doing the things that light you up. You will be doing the things that excite you. You will be doing the things that you want to do instead of the things that you feel obligated to do but really have no desire to do. Does it take you closer to your character or further away from your character?
Yes. Or, if you're talking about it too, it can also be the opposite, that we stop doing things for ourselves because we feel like we have to do something else first. So we have a client she has 4 kids. And when we first started talking, she was not showering for 3 or 4 days. You know, she joked that she would go to put the dry shampoo in her hair and couldn't figure out why it was working, because you can't layer the shampoo on top of the dry shampoo on top of the dry shampoo. Eventually, your hair is just going to become like a big dry shampoo matted mess. But, you know, we worked through some different things, and what she started doing was not getting up earlier because she's still sleep deprived and needs her sleep, but getting up, and before she would leave her room, she would brush her teeth, take a shower, and get dressed, kind of like what you tell your toddlers to do. I mean, we tell them to do those things first thing when we wake up, but sometimes as moms, we stop and we get up and we jump right into parenting, and we jump right into this distance learning that you have to do, or we jump right into a project because we're working at home now, and we don't stop, brush your hair, brush your teeth, and put on something that makes you feel like a human being. I mean, jammies are great, sweatpants are great, all of those things are amazing, but everybody knows that when you're in them, you kind of just feel not as productive. You're more comfortable. You're more comfortable in your comfort than you are in, you know, your everyday going out in public wear. So she took the time to do that. And also something else that she did, which sounds really crazy, is she went through her closet and got rid of all of the clothes that had stains or holes or anything in them, because she had good clothes, and then she had the clothes that she would wear at home. So then she was just constantly in this like super sluggish, wholly stained up mess, but that really wasn't who she was at all. She just felt like she couldn't wear her good clothes at home because she wasn't going anywhere. So making those shifts and those changes and getting rid of some clutter, stepping into who she wanted to be and show up to be herself, just for herself, because she's still at home, working at home with her kids, and taking that time to get ready before she stepped out of her bedroom, then helped her keep her day being more productive.
Right. I love that. I love that story. I love that client. She is fantastic. But the whole point of that is we gave her permission to give herself permission to take time for herself.
Yes.
And you can do that. It might be, I had another client that I worked with that her thing was, if she was at work and that was the only time that she had, she would take her lunch break and she would go sit in her car in a parking lot and meditate, because that gave her time for herself, where nobody else was around, nobody else was intruding on her thoughts, and she could just relax and meditate. And that was self-care for her. So whatever that self-care looks like, where you're at in the process and what you need, there is a place in the day for that. We make a priority what we want to be priority. And we can build up our confidence and our self-esteem and realize that we are a priority. If we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of anybody else. And if we don't take care of ourselves, and we don't care about our minds, and we don't care about our bodies, and we don't care about our spirit, and we don't care about our energy, and I shouldn't say don't care chalantly, because we do care, right?
We do, right.
We care, but we don't care more than we care about appearances or putting somebody else first or what other people are going to think or being judged, right? Our priorities matter more than taking care of ourselves in a lot of cases. I'm not saying that that's true for you specifically, but I am saying that a lot of times that's what I find when I'm working with clients. And so if we say no to something that we have previously said yes to, suddenly there is more time to make something different a priority, to make ourselves a priority, to take care of that self-care. So those two, they really go hand in hand, they intertwine together, because you're not going to get more hours in the day. We all have the same amount of minutes, hours, seconds, whatever in the day. It's how we spend them. And we can spend them filling our own cups and then filling the cups of others, and we'll have more time, more energy, more resources to do that if we say no and set those boundaries first.
Yes.
And the last tip that really helped with the client that I was telling you about in the beginning to really enjoy spending time with her daughter and find that quality time is to be present where your feet are planted. When we're here talking to you on this live, we're here talking to you on this live. When we are in a meeting with our clients, we are in a meeting with our clients. When you are spending time with your kids, you spend time with your kids. You don't need extra electronics. You don't need extra distractions. You don't need any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sometimes you're feeling very thin and very stretched, so start with 15 minutes. Start with 15 minutes of just being present where you're at.
Yes.
The more you practice mindfulness, the easier it will become and the less distracted your mind will be. And the more you practice that mindfulness, the more you will realize that what you're doing in the moment is what adds value to your life. When you're distracted and you're thinking about what's coming next, you're missing your life. You're missing everything that's happening in your life in this moment. And this moment is perfect just the way it is. No matter what's going on, this moment is exactly as it was meant to be.
And you're on your own. I'm just teasing. No, we're glad you're here. I think that's perfect. I mean, I don't really have anything else to even add. Like, you just hit the nail on the head.
Well, awesome. Well, with that, we know that time is your most precious commodity, so we won't take up much more of it. Just remember to like and comment and let us know what you want to hear from us. And check the links below. Later today, there will be links in there for both a chance to schedule a call with us if you are interested in hearing more about our program that is open from now until July 6th. Doesn't come open very often, and we have a few seats left. So if you want to snag a spot there or just want to hear more about it so that you can dig deeper into the steps to go back to loving your life and living a life that you are excited to wake up to every day, you can check that out. The consultation for that is totally free. And also, there will be a link for a free download for a sheet that will help you figure out where you're saying yes when you ought to be saying no. So look for that later as well to help you find that time in your life to take care of yourself and give yourself permission to say yes to you. We love you. We're so glad you're here, and we will talk to you tomorrow.